All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first edition of our Coach's Corner. This is something that we're going to be doing every single month. I'm here along with the other half of the coaching department.
Dawn Hendricks, how are you all?
And we're super excited. If you haven't noticed, we're pushing a lot of video, we're pushing a lot of content, we're pushing a lot of material, and this is just another adage of what we've been doing on top of the podcast and everything else. So to give you a kind of idea what we're going to be looking at, we're going to try and keep it within a half hour. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a little bit more casual, more laid back, but we're also going to be hitting certain topics that you guys can implement today that will lead to business for you guys. So first things first, we want to start out each of these calls with the Coaching Client Spotlight. And so if you guys are following the Instagram and Facebook page, you already saw that Emma Lance out of Century 21 was our Coaching Client Spotlight last month for November. She took her first for sale by owner listing. Mind you, she's only been licensed for about 2 months. Mm-hmm. Took her first for sale by owner listing and closed her first 2 transactions for the month of November. So bravo, Emma, great job. First of many very successful months. Yes. So today we're going to be going through 10 key items of what we need to be doing to jumpstart your 2023 year.
So we're going to start off, what do you need to be doing? And the first and most important thing is going to be you got to hit your sphere. As you know, that's where probably 80% at least of your business is going to come from. So we need to make sure we're keeping in contact with them, because if you're not, somebody else probably is. You can do that in many ways. You can do it via text. You can do phone calls. You can even do emails or video. And I will tell you, this is for a later time, but I did have great success on a 60-second video I sent out about Thanksgiving, just wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and it turned into a $900,000 plus deal. So it works. People want to see you. They want to hear what you have to say. So don't hesitate to get in contact with these people and make sure you're staying in front of them.
Wow. So over $900,000 deal just from a simple video. So whoever told you to do that must know what they were talking about, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
So, all right. Second thing you want to do is go through all of your leads and appointments that you had all year. So literally the last 11 months that you've been talking to people, having people in your pipeline, going on appointments, establishing leads. Even if you went on an appointment and you didn't get it or listed with somebody else, still follow up with them, because you don't know if that lead expired, that listing expired. You don't know if that buyer is now willing to buy. You don't know if that seller is now willing to sell. If you do that, there's a listing or a buyer in there somewhere. So go through all your leads, all your pipeline for the last 11 months, and follow up with every single person you got in there.
With that being said, the other part of that that's really important is that we do show gratitude.
Yep.
So send out thank yous. And again, the form you choose to do it in is your choice. I find that video has been very effective, but we need to show gratitude to these people who've entrusted their business to us. So that will help you to build that rapport and to stay in front of people.
Yep, I like it. Number 4, we need to be working on our presentation skills. So that means listing presentation as well as our presentation skills over the phone. Because in a shifting market, both buyer and seller are not just going to go with whoever's in front of them. They're going to go with whoever's going to get them the best either sale or sale. Yeah. So work on your presentation skills. And one thing I would note on your listing presentation, if you're not doing this, we need to be doing this. Incorporate a market update, whoever you're going out to meet with. So if you're going out to meet with a seller in Clarkston, do a year-over-year market update as to what's happened, because a lot of sellers haven't been educated about what has happened over the last 12 months.
Yeah, I think that's really important, because I feel like people right now still have a misconception of the market.
Yep.
So being able to educate them, and it helps us because we are the leaders in the industry then, if we're the ones bringing them that information. So I totally agree with you. That being said, the other thing we're going to have to become very, very strong at, because this is a different market, is our negotiation.
Yep.
And our sales skills in general. So if you are not strong in those areas, it is critical that you reach out for help and you find a way to learn how to handle those types of things, because right now the negotiation is going to be the most important part of the sales process, probably based on what this market's going to bring us.
Yeah, and that means you're going to have to do a lot more negotiation than you have over the last couple years, right? I mean, buyers are now going to ask for concessions. They're going to ask for repairs. And sellers need to be educated on, hey, we're not going to list a home in 24 hours. We're going to have 15 offers, right? That's not the market that we're in anymore. So if you want to be a top agent and win listings, you have to stay ahead of the market. And part of doing that is being aware of what's going on in your market.
Absolutely, I agree.
Number 6, be consistent with social media. Guys, There's literally nothing else that's less time intensive, that's easier for you, that you can all do right now. We all have a cell phone, right? We all have a phone. Pick it up, post a video of yourself, 30 seconds. If you've got 500 friends on Facebook, what else can you do that's going to take 30 seconds that you can reach 500 people? I mean, how long is it going to take you to call 500 people on the phone? It would take you all month, right? So this is something you have to be leveraging next year. And that doesn't mean just post, once a month, once a couple weeks, once every 3 months. You got to be consistent, and actually it should be a part of your schedule, right? So I post a video every single day almost to you guys. Do I love doing that? No, you should have seen what was involved with setting up this room and all this equipment that we had to bring in here. I almost threw this mic through the wall because it wasn't working.
And we vacuumed.
Yes.
So just know that we did a lot for you guys today.
We vacuumed. They literally finished this room this morning, so we put all this together. It took us about half an hour to set everything up. But the point is you got to do video, because the most important thing is get content out there. Even if you don't get a ton of action on it, even if you don't get a ton of likes, ton of comments, whatever, the point is you're still showing it to people, reminding them of who you are and what you're doing. Right? And so keep this in mind. Here's some ideas you can use. Post it coming soon. You got a listing coming up. Promote that, as well as it's promotion for yourself and it's promotion for the seller that you're representing on the listing. Just list it. Obviously, you want to let people know that you just listed a home. Just sold, right? Or if you just closed a buyer deal. You almost one of the best things you can do is get a picture or a video with your clients at closing and then tag them on the page.
Absolutely.
So not only is it hitting everyone on your wall, but it's also hitting every single person on your client's wall as well.
And remember, that's almost a free referral.
Yep.
So now your clients' friends automatically see you, so it's your name is out to them.
Yep.
So.
And just something else to keep in mind, when you're posting on social media, be mindful of who your audience is and promote their core needs, okay? So you need to be aware of who your audience is, what their core needs, and all of our promotions should really revolve around one simple thing: problem solving, right? That's how we offer value to people, is solve their problems, but we don't know what the problems is until we ask. And one of the best ways to ask is just message people and see how they're doing, okay? So be mindful of your audience, promote their core needs, and promote problem solving advice.
It's actually funny, I think we talked about this, but I was listening to a podcast last week, and the key factor of the entire hour of this podcast was lead with the core need.
Yep.
He said, with any intention of anything you do, lead with the core need. And that doesn't just talk to business, but to everything. So I think that was pretty powerful.
Yep.
Okay. So the next thing that you should already have done, and if you haven't, you need to probably jump on that, is let's establish a business plan for 2023. You want to make sure they're very clear, measurable goals. Every time I get to this time of the year, I already have my business plan done because my coach forces me to do it. Mm-hmm. But
encourages.
It is tremendously helpful because I am a goal-oriented person. I am the person that has it posted in front of me on my wall at my office. I have it at home. I have it on my phone. Because if I don't do that, I tend to not necessarily lose sight of what my goal is, but the direction to get there. So you really need to have that in front of you, and it needs to be measurable. And I would say measurable on even to a weekly basis. So for example, when we do our business planning, Alex typically will break down what my call count should look like, what my listing appointment should look like, and all of those things help me to stay on the course. Yep. So it is critical that you do that. And if you need help with that, that's the time you go to your manager, come to the coaching team, and ask how that is achievable.
Yep. And so, because anyone can just say, yeah, I want to do $5 million next year. Yeah, I want to do 20 transactions next year. But if you don't have something in front of you, out of sight, out of mind, or something you can't track, how in the world do you know whether or not you're on track?
Right. Well, and we did vision boards in our office. I'm sure most of the offices did. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes when they first came out, I was like, yeah, okay, I don't really need a vision board. I personally I love my vision board because it's not just encompassing business, because we are more than just our job, but it also helps you to keep in mind the why of everything that you're doing. So to me, that's really, really important to have that in front of you so that business plan incorporates life, because you have a life outside of here, and it's got to fit. It's all got to fit.
Yep. And that's your driving force, right? So when you wake up in February and it's 2 degrees outside and you don't want to go to the office, that you need that why in front of you to keep you going, right? And to Dawn's point, yeah, she has it broken down. She knows how many people she needs to talk to every day. She knows how many appointments she needs to set every week. She knows how many appointments she needs to go on every month. And she knows how many listings she needs to take every month. That is how your business plan should be broken down, so you can track it day over day, week over week, month over month, to make sure you're doing what you need to do.
Yep, agreed.
So you heard us mention market conditions and market reports. You should be doing a market report, market update with all your buyers and sellers at least once a month, okay? Because we've seen such drastic change year over year that, the only way to keep ahead of the market is to know what's going on.
Absolutely.
Right? Because if we're pricing property based on what was selling 6 to 8, 12 months ago, you're going to be overinflated, right? And so the two best areas that I look at market condition and market updates, you go to Real Comp, market stats, you can pull up the whole state, you can pull up a certain county, you can pull up city, whatever. So market stats on Real Comp, as well as showing stats on showing time. So that will actually give you the broad view of how the showings have gone year over year, increase, decrease, and so forth. I do a market report every month for the coaching team that breaks down a ton of stats for the whole state. So if that's something you want a copy of, I send it out every month. Message me on the Facebook or the Instagram page, and I'll add you guys to the mailing list.
And to that point, I know we all get this, especially during the holidays. How's the market?
Yep.
I don't want to answer with a good, average. I want to have details and facts. And then even your friends and family, they're usually our hardest critics. So I want them to look at me and go, she's on top of it. She knows what's going on. If I'm in a grocery store and I run into an acquaintance, I want to be able to say, well, there's a 6% difference between last year and this year and this. And I know that sounds kind of silly as I'm saying it right now, but they will appreciate real facts versus the generality of, oh, it's okay, the market's all right. So just keep that in mind. You are the expert and you want to be the expert in their eyes.
Yeah, and that's one of the best ways to provide value, right? How do we provide value to a seller? Well, sellers view value as currency, okay? So the more data, the more information you can provide to a seller, the more valuable you then become, which proves that you're a professional that not only knows what's going on in the market, but can help them steer them if they decide to buy or sell because you're knowledgeable what's going on.
Absolutely. Now, leading off that, knowing the market, you also want to be able to expand into the market. So we want to be able to expand what we're doing for lead generation. We're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
People aren't calling. My phone's not ringing off the hook going, list my house, list my house. And we are going to have to find creative ways to do that. So there are so many different opportunities for that. Sphere of influence is obviously, like I said, probably the most important. And that's staying in front of them. That's just staying in front of those people that you know. But FSBOs, and I know that tends to give people, that gives them that, but if any of you were at Hard Knocks, you can call FSBOs. Yes. And we had tremendous success. So it is feasible for people who have never picked up the phone before to just pick up the phone and do it. Yeah. The same thing with expireds. I actually, as I said before, I love expireds because they really do have a problem. And they were willing to use a realtor. Yep. So there is something there that needs to be uncovered, and that's where lead with the core need, find out what that problem is, and help solve it. Same thing, with draw-ins. Obviously, there's different circumstances around that. Door knocking. I know.
Door knocking. Who does door knocking anymore?
And I'm sure everybody on the other side is saying the same thing, but we do. And it is actually a very enjoyable, fun thing to do because you get out of your comfort zone. And after you do the first couple, it's just a really kind of cool experience because you're the only one out there doing it. Yep. Not everybody else is doing it. And then, as Alex pointed out earlier, social media. And I can't stress that enough. Probably in the last year, some of the deals that I've closed, I would say at least 5 or 6, came from people from years ago that I would have never had a connection with. I would have never been able to get in contact with. I wouldn't even know where they are in the world if it weren't for social media. So you have to use that as a platform. It's the most successful platform, in my opinion, because most of the time it's free. Yes, you can pay for it, but most of the time it's free. And it targets so many people in a small period of time with one strong message. So very important.
Yeah, and so to everyone sitting on the call watching this, those come list me opportunities that someone says, hey, I want to list my home, I want to take advantage of the market that we've gotten over the last couple of years. it ain't going to happen as often as it did.
Nope.
Right? So that means that we got to be creative. And if you're sitting here now in December and you're looking at your business and you're 20, 30, 40% off year over year, this is part of the reason why. What we did over the last couple of years is not going to work for what we're heading into over the next couple of years. We got to be more creative. We got to be more proactive. And so when we break down sources of business, it's really, okay, there's now business and then there's future business, right? And so when we look at the future business, more often than not, that's majority of your SOI. Keeping in touch, having conversations, and that way eventually they come around, they decide they want to buy or sell. But if you need now business, so if you're new or if you're down year over year and you need now business to close that gap, sale by owners, expireds, withdrawals.
You know what the great thing right now too about this market uniqueness, I like to call it, is these for sale by owners that probably had a decent shot in May, June, July of selling, do not have that same opportunity now.
Nope.
They need a realtor. The world has changed on them and they need your help. So you have to be in front of them and you need to actually educate them on why. So those market updates to a FSBO, they have no idea what it was like 6 months ago versus today. And if you're the one educating them versus just calling, trying to steal a listing, they're going to appreciate that and you have a better opportunity.
Yeah, and our value increases in a shifting market,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Because like she said, for sale by owner over the last couple of years, could they have sold their home themselves?
Yeah.
Of course, right? And they may even gotten a good price for it. But now with what's going on in the market, buyers aren't looking at buy owners anymore because if you haven't noticed, inventory has gone up. So now there's really no need for a buyer to go out of their way and look for sale by owner property because now there's more options available on the market.
Right. And those for sale by owners aren't going to get the price they would have 3 months ago.
Right.
Because now it's starting to shift into that buyer market.
Yep.
So that's where the challenges come in, and you as an expert have to remind them that you can help them net
Yes.
the most possible out of their home.
And we've had a couple agents, 2 in coaching, and 1 was Alana, who went to Hard Knocks.
Yep.
Never called it for sale by owner ever. She called it for sale by owner this month, set an appointment, and got the listing signed for 6%.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why none of you can't do that. You guys, for sale by owners are not something that's crazy or out of the ordinary or like monsters. They're just normal people who are in need of help and guidance. And so you got to make that call. You got to get over that fear. But once you do it, you realize it's an incredible source of business and it's something that you can lean on to and get business. If you call them today, you can get a listing tomorrow.
Yep. It's a confidence builder too.
Yep.
I know we always talk about that, but it is. It makes you feel in control of your business,
Yep.
of what you're bringing in and what your income might look like. So it's definitely a huge lead source.
So keep in mind, expand your lead sources. So moving on to one of the final points, which again, you didn't really need to worry about over the last couple of years because everything was sunshine and rainbows and it was
Right.
super easy. You got to keep a strong and balanced mindset. So over the next couple of years, we're going to see a lot of listing appointments fall through. We're going to see a lot of listings come off the market. We're going to see a lot of deals fall through because now buyers have more options. So they don't need to give, their left kidney and waive the inspection to buy a house anymore.
Right.
So if they go through an inspection and find something that they don't like, they can walk away because they have 10 other options, right?
Yep.
So one of the best ways is to keep your mindset strong and balanced. Be mindful of what you're feeding yourself. Okay? Energy goes where focus goes. So if you focus only on what has gone wrong, or this deal falls apart, or this buyer dips out, then that's where your energy is going to go. So if you focus on bad stuff, your energy is going to be contributed to bad stuff. And I don't know about you, but it's impossible to be productive for me when I'm negative.
Oh, absolutely. And there's times that I've had to pull myself aside and say, reminder, this is not the big picture. This is a moment in time. It will pass.
Yep.
And, it is hard to do. You have to be prepared for that. So I know we've talked about this. I have silly little things I put in my phone, little, mantras that I remind myself, because if I don't, it is easy to get sucked into the negativity. But the other thing is, surround yourself with the people that are going to pull you out of that.
Yep.
And I promise you, people want you to succeed, but they don't want you to succeed beyond them, right?
Yep.
So you really need to focus on where your positive energy is going to come from, and stay the course on that.
That's a great point too, because I read a lot. I try and read a book every night, and go through one every month. But one of the best pieces of advice I got from a book was be careful who you share your good news with. Because if you go to someone who you think is your friend and you share great news, and oh, well, that's good, but what about this? Or, oh, you sure you want to do that? Or, oh, that's great, but this is what I got going on. It immediately kills all the positive energy you have.
Yep.
So it's one of the best ways to identify who's really on your team and who's not. But just be mindful of who it is that you're sharing good news with. And I strongly encourage all of you. I'm trying to get her to do this too. I sent her a book. She's got to read. Read. Listen to podcasts. Listen to YouTube videos. Music. One of the best things that you can do to improve your mindset, which we both do every single day, is to exercise.
Absolutely. Top priority.
There is nothing better for you mentally and physically than getting on a consistent routine of some sort of exercise. I work out 6 days a week. That's how I end my day every day. So between 5 and 6:30, I ain't taking any calls. I ain't taking any texts. I'm not returning emails, because that's the hour and a half I have to pretty much bust my, at the gym, and that's how I end the day. I know you're pretty much the same way.
Absolutely. 6 days a week minimum, and it is a priority. And sometimes I used to feel guilty saying, this is my workout time. And then I realized I am such a better person, such a better mom, such a better real estate agent, such a better coach, such just a better person in general when I spend that time. Once that is done, my focus is all in on everything else. But you have to do it. And I also want to comment, because the reading thing is so important. And yes, he has pushed me on that. I have been listening to podcasts lately, and I cannot believe the difference in not just the knowledge I've gotten from these podcasts, from people that I would have never been in contact with. But when you started talking about podcasts and reading, I started picking up on some of these things, and just some of the little things I've learned, like I said, they go on my phone as a reminder.
Yep.
And it's tremendous what it does for your mindset.
Yes.
It really is.
The content is out there. There's no shortage of content. There's billions of videos on YouTube. You just got to make the effort to go out there and be mindful of what you're feeding your mind, right? We all should be mindful of what we're feeding our body, but we also have to be mindful of what we're feeding our mind.
They go hand in hand.
Yep.
Do you want to tell them?
I'll let you take it.
All right. Okay. So we have an exciting opportunity for you that we came up with, and I think it's pretty cool. So we are going to be doing a December contest. Yes, we're a couple days in, 2 days in?
Yep.
But we're going to still hold it through December. And it is a listing contest. But we're going to explain to you some of the details of it. So first things first. Do you want me to go through these, or you want to take
I'll go through. That was my bad. I was supposed to take this, but I gave it to her for some reason.
I was excited.
even we screw up, right? So I was supposed to take this, but yes, Dawn said we're doing a December monthly listing contest, okay? And so first thing is the reward, right? Because we want to know what the reward is.
Yay.
We're giving out a free month of coaching to you guys. You guys get to pick who you want to work with, as well as what topic you want to cover. So listing presentation, pre-qualifying, for sale by owners, expires, SOI, video, whatever you guys want to cover, we'll cover it for you, okay? So you get to pick who you want to work with and what topic you want to cover. To accept the challenge and to enter into the monthly listing contest, you have to message us on our Facebook page or our Instagram page and just say challenge accepted, okay? So leave a message for us on Facebook or Instagram with challenge accepted. We'll add you to the list, and that way you can post your updates on the page. You can message us, let us know where we're at. We'll do probably weekly, bi-weekly check-ins just to see where everyone's at.
Sure.
But eventually you're going to have to provide the monthly numbers as well as the listings to provide proof that you did commit what it is that you said you did.
Yep. Okay. So we are going to ask you to take action. This is where it gets real,
Yep.
and this is where you have the opportunity to grow. So here's what we're looking for. If you do accept the challenge, we are going to ask you to make a minimum of 30 calls a day, whoever you want. But you do need to have 10 conversations a day. So it's either 30 calls or 10 conversations. So don't stop at 30 if you only have 5 conversations.
And that doesn't mean you just dial real quick and hang up and
Right.
dial and hang up. No, 10 conversations is what we're really shooting for. If you make 30 calls, we should be getting close to 10.
Right. You should be getting able to talk to 10 people. A minimum of 1 listing per week for the month of December is what we're recommending. So if you're talking to 10 people and converting 1, that's pretty darn good. So
Yeah.
that's our hope.
So 1 listing appointment per week, because again, like she said, if you're talking to 10 people 5 days a week, that's 50 people you're talking to. You should be able to set at least 1 appointment.
Right. And then the last one, and this is another one of those getting out of your comfort zone, is we want you to post or send out, like text, whatever, however you want to send it out, 1 video in the month of December. And when you send out that video, we would also like you to send it to us.
Yep.
So you can send it on either of the pages, however you want to get it to us, just so we know you did in fact do that. And then at the end of the month, we'll get all the details together and pick a winner.
Yep. So when you guys post your videos, either tag the Facebook and Instagram page or message it to me and I'll post it on the page so that way everyone can see it. Because I think a lot of agents like to see and hear from other agents to see what they're doing.
Sure.
So we're going to share that as well.
Are we going to, I think we talked about this, I think we're going to also update the page so we kind of
Yes.
have a running tally of what's
Yep.
going on. You guys can kind of keep track of where you're at. And
Yep. So we'll be doing kind of like a scoreboard type deal of how everyone's doing, who's taking appointments, who's setting the listings, who's getting contracts signed. So that way we'll make it very interactive. But the point is we want you guys taking 2, 3, 4, 5 listings this month. So that way when January, February rolls around, you have closings lined up because
Yes.
that's the best way to start the year.
starting your 90 days, right? We want to get you rolling so that this next 3-6 months are profitable for you. I forgot we have one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
that's you.
All right. So the coaching department, have you noticed, is doing a lot of different stuff. And so what we have coming up is we're actually going to have an agent join us. So we're growing. So we're going to have another coach coming on board. I'm going to be sitting down with them next week on the podcast. So I'm talking to them at the end of the week. So keep an eye out for that. But this is going to be a great addition to our team because it's this agent. One, they're a top producer, so they do very good business.
Yes.
But they also do different business, a little bit different than her and I. They're very heavy SOI, and they do a lot of different things. So this made sense for us because I've been hounding this agent for a while, well over a year, because I wanted them on the team. And so this is going to allow us to offer out a bunch of different stuff as well as what we have to offer. They're going to bring their whole tool set and resources to our team as well, which is just going to mean that we have more to offer you guys as well. And I'll give you a hint. They are going to help us expand on the C21 side. So that's the only hint you get.
Yep, that's it.
So like we said, we're going to end all these videos with a call to action. You have those, minimum of 30 calls, 10 conversations per day, 1 listing appointment per week, 1 video that we're going to send out or post in the month of December. So if we do all these 10 things that we went through, you guys will have not only a good month of December, but you'll have a very strong start to January and February. So let us know what you guys think. This is the first episode we're doing. So we're going to make tweaks. We're going to make it better.
Yep.
But like it, share it, comment it if you like the stuff that you saw today. And if you want more content like this, go to the Facebook, Instagram page because I post on that pretty much every day.
And last thing I would like to say is, if you have some positive things out there that you use on a daily basis, post them on the pages.
Yep.
Let other people share in that because we need to make sure that we are staying positive together. So just, share that good news and good information with everybody.
Yes, we want this to be a very high energy, productive learning environment. So please share stuff, send it to us so we can share with everybody else. We got close to 200 people following both accounts. We want to make sure we get that out to as many people as possible. This is the first episode, Coach's Corner. Let us know what you guys think. I hope you guys all have a great start to the month, and let's get after it to make sure we have a great start to the year.
Have a great year.
Thanks, guys.